Well, assalamu alaikum, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 26th edition of Mental Health Tuesday. We do this every day because we feel we need it. Cases of mental health issues, suicides, homicides, depression are all over there. And as Samba Sports Youth Agenda, we said we must find a way of hosting a space where people can discuss mental health matters so that we may understand ourselves and also we may understand coping mechanisms and be able to help ourselves and the others that we relate with. So we do this as Samba Sports Agenda with our partners, Greenstein Network, and also Diplomats for Health, and also several speakers and actors in the mental health fraternity. So welcome, my name is Mohammed Ali Machausa. We will pray and then we start officially. God Almighty, we come to you. We thank you for the glory of health. We thank you for the opportunity that you gave us to meet today. We ask of you to be with us and guide us and give us patience and endurance and give us wisdom so that whatever we shall discuss here may be meaningful to us and may be meaningful to the people that we meet every day of our life. We know through you we'll be able to help others with the skills and information that we get here. We pray and believe in your mighty name, oh God. Amen. So today we are lucky to have the most revered motivational speakers in Dr. Othman Mjahid and one, I can say, leading therapist from the female fraternity, Mama Anisa, in the house. So our topic today is little things that cement love and bonding. Little things that cement love and bonding. So as we start, we will give Mama Anisa her opening session, and then we'll do a quick question and answer session, and then we go to Dr. Othman Mjahid. I know he's raring to go. Mama Anisa, if you may, please take the stage.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Can everybody?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Today's session, it's one of the hardest sessions for me because having your mentor on board, I hope you understand. Professor is my mentor, and me being now a speaker beside him, it's like I'm just going to give an introduction. It is his day. And what I want to start up with is, why do people come together? Why did you come together? What made you, what attracted you to be with Mr. Right or the Miss Right? There's something, there's a bond. What is that thing which is not here? Which is not there now? I just want to trigger you to think before we get our speaker to give us the spices and the best things we are lodging for today. And if you're supposed to write a book today, you're supposed to rewrite your story. What will be your topic for today, from today? These are the things you should start thinking. Yeah. Do you talk about your day together? What do you do together? Do you have surprises? If you don't have surprises, today Prof is going to tell us all about that. Why is trust important? Why is trust important? Is it that important? Are you taking it as important, or you're just taking it for granted? How do you rejuvenate your huba? What do you do? Maybe if it's a car after 10 years, will it look the same? No. So what will you do to again pull that partner of yours again next to you? There are so many things. Daktari, I know, is going to be so open and tell us about that. And also, what positive thing do you know about your partner? If you know that positive thing about your partner, you should keep on telling them about that positive thing, that good thing that they have, that thing which it's only him or her who has it. This makes them live again. They make them nice. They make them really want to be part of you. With Huba, I know Professor is the best person, and that's why I even recommended him. So let's go ahead, Machausa. That's what I wanted to say.
Wow, Mama Anisa, what an opening remark, and ushering the red carpet to one and only Dr. Othman Mjahid. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, kindly you may raise your hand so that we give you an opportunity to ask, or you may use the call chat and ask your question or give a comment or give an opinion. It's for all of us. Kindly be free. Either you raise your hand or you use the call chat. I will be moderating alongside my colleague Amani Nouri, who will also be assisting you to pick out what is in the call chat and to bring it to the fore on the platform. Thank you very much. Dr. Othman Mjahid, Assalamu alaikum. It's been long. Kindly take the stage. Daktari, you are still on mute. Please unmute yourself. Your phone or your computer. Yes, now you can speak.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me on board, and thank you, Madam Anisa, for recommending me for this very interesting discussion. Sometimes it is very hard to engage in a discussion like this because there is a C which is very crucial in life. This is the C of contradicting. Contradictions means you don't practice what you say, you only say. But when it comes to real life, it becomes a little bit hard. So I want today to make sure whatever I will say is something that I practice myself so that I don't contradict myself. That is a C of metastasizing cancer. You're saying something that you don't do yourself. You see, they say a little word can create a very strong relationship even between enemies. A little hug can heal hearts which have been broken for a very long time. A little touch can cool down the nerves which are about to burst. And a little kiss can make someone remember you for a very long time. Therefore, these things we are calling little are not really little. They are things that sometimes create a very strong and everlasting impact, particularly when it comes to relationship. So when we say little things, what we actually mean is the opportunity you get sometimes when you are perturbed, when you are disturbed, when you are worried, when you are going through anxiety, and someone offers you a shoulder to lean on so that you can be able to cry out all the disappointments, all the frustrations, all the anxiety, and you get the strength to come back again to make sure you are enjoying that particular relationship. Little thing could also mean providing a moment of inspiration so that even if somebody is like feeling that the world has come to an end, they can see the reason why they need to start afresh and in a bigger way, in a very strong way, and continue enjoying that sweet relationship, which maybe is in one problem or the other. Little thing could also mean a timely word that is said, which makes you reflect on whatever you are going through and come to a conclusion that it is not worthy, allowing yourself to go through a painful moment when there is an avenue for you to kind of recollect and enjoy that connection and that relationship and that bond and that love. Little things could also mean you trying to learn the little techniques available so that you can call upon somebody to get back to their senses and see how important your relationship is with them. Little things could also mean you being able to identify limitations that are there between you and your partner, you and your spouse, you and your friend, and you find a way of going through those limitations and turning them, and they become strength. Little things could also mean a word of encouragement that is given timely, which will make you feel like even if things are not going the way you want them to go, but there's still hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Little thing could also mean you giving a thorough outlook of whatever is happening to you and ultimately realizing it is not worthy going through pain when there's a moment for you to gain. Little things could also mean looking for those habits that if you practice every day will revive a relationship or will make a relationship stronger or will make you feel comfortable with one another. Little thing could also mean establishing common interest that you and the friend, you and the partner, you and the spouse can always have something that is common between the two of you that will keep you engaged throughout your relationship. Little thing could also mean opportunity to empower each other so that none of you feel inferior to the other, but always having that equality between the two of you, and that really makes the whole relationship a very beautiful relationship. Why am I saying this? Najua kuna mwimbaji mmoja Mungu mrahamu anaitwa Professor Bal alisema anasema nikumbuka nyonda nikupe Huseini mahaba si kwanza si mageni na najua kupenda na kupendwa mimi. And because of that, that's why I really feel like this topic is going to be very interesting today. In the interest of time, I want to outline, and I will use alphabet A to Z of little things that can create a very strong bond. A to Z of little things that can create a very strong bond. Number one thing is learning to apologize. None of us is perfect, and we all make mistakes. But making a mistake is not a mistake. Repeating a mistake is what is a mistake. Falling down when it comes to relationship is not really accident. Sometimes it happens to all of us. But the problem is not falling down or falling short in a relationship. The problem is falling down and then refusing to make up with that relationship. So A is for apologizing. When you make a mistake and you know you have made that mistake, then it is always good not to waste time, but to quickly say sorry. This is a golden word, a diamond word, saying sorry. It's not easy to say it, but when you say it, it really, really gives that connection, and the relationship is always very sweet. B is always try as much as you can to be benevolent. That is being kind, show concern, show care. At the end of the day, the person, they say, when you are out to show, then people don't really mind how much you know or what position you have. What people mind, particularly in relationship, is how much do you care. So always make sure you are benevolent when you want bond to be stronger in any relationship. Again, remember to compliment. I had a friend who unfortunately divorced the wife, and I asked the wife one day, why did you divorce your husband? Because to me, the two of them was really a perfect match. But then this lady told me, you know, Mujahid, my husband, we've been married for about 8 years now, but he never appreciates anything. I go to the saloon, I come home, no compliments. I cook a very nice meal, no compliment. So recently he brought in a friend to stay with us, and this friend of his is always praising me, is always saying how good I look, is always saying how good my dress is always saying how delicious my food is always saying that, and that has really made me think twice that really my husband does not have any feelings for me. Therefore, I am moving on with this friend of my husband. So you can see, because of that lack of that compliment, something very simple, just saying thank you, I enjoyed the meal today, just saying I like the way you look today, Just saying, you smell great today. Just saying, I like the way you talk. That word was really powerful. Can you repeat that word again? So it's very, very important. Na ndio maana kule Lamu kwetu tunasema usiku wa jana nalishika zamu karauni hata saa zikatimu. Sikuoni nimpe nani salamu. You know, so those little things at the end of the day zinaongeza yale mahaba ambayo wengi wetu hivi leo tunakuwa na matatizo nayo. Again, because of the interest of time, D is for dedication. That means you have to give it all. There is no, you know, when it comes to relationship, when it's coming to create bond, there's no halfway. There's no quarter way. When you are interested in a relationship, or when you are in a relationship, or when you are in what they call love area, or whenever you are in that kind of connection, make sure you give it all. Don't say, I am going to save 20% for another day, I'm going to save 30% for another time. Make sure you give it all. Dedicate whatever you have to making that relationship a good relationship. Again, my dear brothers and sisters, always make sure there is a balance in terms of equality. Don't make the other person feel like he or she is inferior. Make sure the balance is very clear. And that appreciation and that respect must always be very, very high. Again, make it fun, make it flexible. You know, I always tell people when I give talks like this, and I ask this question, are you dying together or are you living together? Are you living together or are you dying together? Because some people are just there together waiting to die. And some people are there making it fun. So F for fun, make it fun and be flexible. Don't be too rigid. It's a very little thing that you can do. Again, remember to be honest. You know, trusting each other is very key, as Madam Anisa has mentioned. And I asked that question. That trust is very key. When you feel trusted, it's something very small sometimes, okay? But the person takes it to be a very big thing. And then be interested in each other. Okay, and there is one thing again that sometimes people think it's negative, but it's very positive. Show that you are jealous of the other person, because without jealousy, definitely there is no love. There is no love without jealousy. There's no relationship without jealousy. There's no connection without jealousy. So show some little jealousy so that the person will feel, yes, you care for them. You want them all for yourself. You don't want them to, you don't want to share them with anybody else. Then K for kindness. That means the little, and kindness does not mean kindness in terms of sharing resources or wealth or money. Kindness in terms of your words, kindness in terms of connections and time, kindness in terms of being together and such kind of thing. And then L, laugh. It's therapy, laughing. Try, find moments of laughing, because nothing is more therapeutical when it comes to relationship and creating bond. And that's why in Islam they even say a smile is charity. When you smile, it's contagious. Even if somebody is frowning, the moment you smile, you also make them smile. It's a little thing, but when you offer that smile, and when particularly it's a genuine smile, it creates magic. Remember, again, it's very important to play matured. You know, it's okay to be a child in terms of your age, but don't be childish. It is also good sometimes to behave. Sometimes people will say women are like children. Yeah, they're like children, but they don't have to be childish. You can still show some level of maturity, and then don't be judgmental. Non-judgmental is very key when it comes. It's a very small thing, but it makes a lot of impact. So learn to nurture. Remember, nurture is stronger than nature. Even if somebody comes from a background where things are different from you, for you to be able to make that person comfortable with you, try to nurture that relationship. Mapenzi yataka malezi, uhusiano yataka malezi, na ndio hapo unakuwa haupatikani upuzi, na kila kitu kinakuwa hakina pingamizi. Hautaki mkubwa ujuzi, lakini ni lazima tukumbukane hata katika ndani ya usingizi. So it's very important, again, my dear colleagues, for us to be original. Be yourself. Don't be fake. Don't be fake. The best thing you can do to each other is for you to learn to accept each other the way you are. When you want to fake everything, one day you might not be able to sustain that false appearance or that false expression. Be you and let the person see that you are really you. Again, remember, make them your priority. They shouldn't be second to anything. When you want to create bond, the person needs to be shown that they are a priority in your life. Therefore, don't make them feel like they are second hand au sio mtumba. Ni lazima tuwaonyeshe mahaba, na mara nyingine hata kulazimu kuimba, lakini mwishowe ukumbuke kwamba mambo yote yanajengwa katika hali ya kujigamba. Kujigamba sio ujigambe wewe, lakini unamfanya yeye pia anajigamba kwamba you are too special to him or you are too special to her. Again, remember, quality time is key. Therefore, give them quality time. You don't have to be there for the sake of just being there. Being there because you want to be there. Even if it is just 5 minutes, it's very little time. But make those 5 minutes become really quality 5 minutes. Again, it's very interesting, something very little, but supporting each other. Being soulful, having connection, the emotional connection. When it comes to bonding and relationship, IQ doesn't work, reasoning doesn't work. You have to use more of the heart. You have to use more of the IQ. I remember when we were growing up, we will tell each other, I was walking along the beach and I wrote your name on the sand on the beach, and the cruel waves came and washed it. Then I decided to write it on the grounds, but the rain, oh my God, came and cleared it. I wrote it on the grasses, the giraffe came and ate it. But today I have written it in my heart. No one can be able to clean it. No one can rub it. So the quality, the kind of a thing that soulfulness, that somebody feels that umewapatia nafasi katika moyo wako. And that is really important. Nakumbuka mwimbaji mmoja wa Zanzibar anasema, penzi tuliengeenge lidumu lisivunjike, na mengine tuyatende ya watu tusiyashike, tujilinde na mazenge kila mtu wakumbuke. Mahaba yako hazina nipe mimi niyaweke, mapenzi yangu zunduna nitakupa uyashike, katu siyagawi tena kwako ndio mwisho wake. Now those are very little things, but when you tell each other, they make a lot of impact. And then trust is very key. Understanding and making sure you connect and unite with one another. Very good. Also try to be virtuous. Have some rituals that you do together every morning. Something very little. Taking a walk together, having a cup of tea in the morning together, and such kind of thing that is really, really important. Again, remember, my dear colleagues, wanting each other, wanting. This word is really powerful. It's not just about, we are together, we are living together, we are connected, but how much do you want us to be together? That's another very important thing. And then always go the extra mile. When you do what everybody else does, it becomes too normal. It becomes a routine. Do things that other people are not doing so that they look special to the other person. Something very little, okay? Like giving each other a name that is only known to the two of you. This is just for me and you. If it is a hobby, if you are the only mosquito in my net, whatever you want to call each other, but it has to be a name that is only between the two of you, because you want to create that bond, you want to create that connection, so that when that person hears that name, the person knows this must be Machausa, this must be Mujahid, it must not be anybody else. And then remember, you observe boundaries, and that is very key, not going above the boundaries, and what they call yin yang, making sure you take care of the little nitty-gritties so that everybody can appreciate one another. And don't lose your energy. Show that zeal, because sometimes you might even say the word I love you, but the way you say it is like you are already dying. Say it, whatever you say it with a lot of zeal. Remember, the sky is blue and the ink is blue, and I can see Machausa is wearing something blue, but our love is true between me and you. And thank you very much, and God bless you.
Wow, that's what you get with Dr. Mjahid. That's always what you get with Dr. Mjahid. Very lyrical and very creative. Thank you very much. I think that was a smashing session. So anybody wants to say anything? I had seen a hand from our brother, Dr. Mukhtar Ogle, all the way from the office of the president. So we'll give him an opportunity to speak. But if you have a question or a comment, please drop it on the call chat, and then Nuri will be able to assist you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Tosa. It's great seeing my friend Mujahid.
Thank you, Mukhtar. Okay.
I will have said so many things, but this session, so I'll be very cautious. Nonetheless, nothing about him when we're in the education sector.
Yes, thank you very much, Mukhtar.
His passion remains the same.
Yeah.
It's just empathy to transform our struggling communities. Well, I want to say a few things in what the theme of the engagement is about the small things that matter. In preparation, I was reading a book by Vladimir Zachary of 2015. It talks about the excellent habit, how small changes in our mindset can make a big difference in our lives. And I think Mujahid has touched on multiple things that refer to this. And he quotes, and I quote, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. But a habit is composed of the small things that we do in our daily lives." He also quotes Edmund Hillary, the first man to be on Everest. He says, "It is not the mountain that we conquer, but ourselves." You'll forgive me, my children are playing around here, and I told them to be away. Now, the rules of excellence for us in terms of the small things Mujahid has talked about, though he said some of the very passionate things in Kiswahili, I was actually floating. You know, he was speaking Swahili of Amu when he was quoting that musician, the professor, and I could relate to it. It's like listening somebody explain to you in German, but nonetheless, the rule of excellence are rooted in the small things that we do in our lives, based on what Mujahid has said. Essentially, for us to achieve that is the iceberg, first of all, is the principle of engagement in our lives, and the law of not selling out. Selling out by meaning compromising those exceptional principles which Mujahid had mentioned. I don't want to go back to. But underlying all those efforts in the small things is rooted in our mindset. The mindset matters. Our cognitive mindset is very important. And in relation to what Samba Sport is doing in designing and building and launching these programs every Tuesday, it makes many of us to survive and thrive. The details have been given by Mujahid. People matter. Relationship matters. The other time I was with a group of community dialogue. Many of the mothers said, our husbands are good outside. The image they show outside is very good. But at home, it's a terror. Because we always project to be good, we must also project that goodness to our families, to our spouses, to our children. And you know the ethics of family living in Islam, and I think also in our colleagues among us, our brothers among us Christians, there are certain codified rules that gives us the ethics of good living, good life, of a moral life, of a productive life. Sometimes then we ask ourselves, what are the drivers of our behavior? And what are the resistance that we do to resist the small things that matter? Like Mujahid has mentioned. There are two streams here. The life we live, and we practically live ourselves now, and the life we have imagined, where we achieve all the successes, the bridge between these two lives, the one we are and the one we aspire to be, for example, in a household. So how we build a bridge between the two lives really matters. I end by saying the following. Happiness and success lies outside our comfort zone. The small things that you find difficult, make effort to work on them. If you don't tell your wife that she is beautiful and the food she has cooked is sweet and all this, and maybe it's a function of your traditional upbringing, of that masculinity. Grow up. This generation has changed. Our women like to be loved, to be appreciated. It is their right. It is their legitimate right. Sometimes when you are moody and we come, they say, Baba, why are you like this? Wachana na mimi. We do these things, but sometimes we apologize. We need to have the strength and the courage to confront our weaknesses, especially men. Wacheni kukaa ngumu. Na wanawake wacheni kukaa ngumu kwa wanaume wenu pia. So that signal of courage matters. Finally, pray. Be prayerful. Wherever you are, whichever religion you belong to, pray. 2, focus on the small things that matter. 3, write them down. 4, act on what you write down. Isikuwe Kiingereza tu. Each small step at a time. Patience and appreciation of our lives also matters. Each of us matters. Life is a learning lesson. The more we listen to Machausa and his programs, the more it makes us different. Such engagements of energy, of resources, and time must have significant impacts on our lives. Machausa, thank you very much for bringing Mjahid. Bado ako kijana bana, sijui anakula nini. Thank you very much.
He is practicing A to Z. Thank you very much, Dr. Mukhtar. Always insightful. Thank you very much. Nuri, maybe what's there on the call chat before we open it up again for questions and answer? Nuri?
Thank you, Mohammed. First of all, I need to appreciate what Mama Anisa and Dr. Mjahid have brought to us. I think for me, I've known Dr. Mjahid from a long time ago, since my high school days at Malindi High School, and I know what of a speaker and a good motivator he is. So I'm really, really grateful that we have him here today to listen to him once more. And from the whole chat, we have Nancy saying that the fact of making someone smile, I can say it has become part of me. An art I have learned. They call me a laughing machine. I like cracking jokes and making people smile. Apparently, it not only makes them happy, but also gives me a kind of satisfaction and makes me lively. She goes on to say, my dad rarely laughs, but I often make him do so. And this he normally says gives him a lot of happiness that he never wishes for me to leave home. To date, when he's bored, he would always call me. I think this is very, very emotional and also good to read. Eunice Ndubi says, before we married each other, my spouse never bought me any gift. I didn't know why. I was disturbed, but I decided to buy him one. Since I had no money, I only afforded a key holder written, no, you, no life. You can't imagine what happened next. He was very happy, and I'm happy he knew the power of appreciation, irrespective of how small it can be. Wow. Amazing. Mwanaisha Kwania says, how do you revive a relationship where one partner is ready to have a fresh start after a bad experience in the past, where the other one is not ready and keeps on making you so inferior and not ready to revive the life between the two? Wow. Collins, you have your hand raised, but I think before you speak, let's have one of our speakers respond to what Mwanaisha said, and probably a few words or two about what Eunice Ndubi and Nancy have mentioned, either Mama Anisa or Dr. Mjahid. I think the floor will be yours.
Mama Anisa, you are down. Your voice is down.
Dr. Mjahid's day. Let us answer. Let him answer.
Okay. Daktari, please unmute. Daktari, please unmute.
Are we together? There are 5 P's that are very important when it comes to sustaining a relationship that is at the verge of collapse. And the first P is always remain positive. Don't ever think of negativity about the other person, even if there are signs to show that the other person is a bit negative and he is not ready to do anything to revive the relationship. You know, you cannot give people what you don't have. Therefore, if you want to think the way they think, then they end up taking you with them. But if you continue being positive, even if they are negative, ultimately they will come to your side. So P number 1, always maintain positivity. There is nothing in life, in any relationship, that is impossible. Everything is possible, but maintain the positivity. P number 2, be an active participant. Even if the other person is a little bit relaxed, is a little bit reserved, is not ready to show commitment, be active and show participation in whatever is between the two of you, until it reaches a point that the other person develops a level of empathy and says, I think I have not been very cooperative, and my partner, my friend, my wife is like insisting, maybe it's time for me to think the other way round. That is the P of participation. P number 3, always make sure you are creating partnership that is unavoidable between the two of you. Let the other person see you to be a very important partner in that relationship, in the life you're living together, and in the progress and future development. Don't be a spectator, be a full-time player, and show that partnership to be a very strong partnership. And then P number 4 is a P of always making sure you are not worried so much about the process, but you are looking at the end results, the product. What is it going to be in case things work out? So look at that beautiful product that will come out with the struggle you're investing in to make that relationship work. And then the final P, which is the 5th P, is always be patient. Asabru jamil. Yeah, subira huvuta kheri. Subira ni mlango wa mambo mema mengi sana. Don't give up on a relationship that you are dying to sustain. Do whatever it takes until you make it work again. And believe me, it is going to work again, because I've seen it in many places. One person is interested, another person is not interested. Now the strength of the positive always will overcome the negative. I hope I've answered the question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Othman. That has been very, very insightful. And something that I'm learning today is that the 25 alphabets that we learned in school have so much meaning than we ever think. And I think it's time that some of us learn how to use them. Collins, you had your hand raised. Please, would you speak? Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. One, let me say thank you for the two speakers. And number two, how I wish Mr. Machausa could bring the two gentlemen on a daily basis. Hii conversation tuanze nayo kuanzia saa 10 hadi saa 3 usiku. Moso kwa ile women conference. they have good talks. Number three, let me say that anyway, the little things makes a difference, and I'm a living testimony that my wife anapenda kama wanampikia chai. Hiyo tu. Nikimpikia chai asubuhi na kuambia the whole day atafurahia. So kana hiyo, I always make it now a routine. That the little thing that makes her happy, let me do it. So asubuhi nimpike chai, jioni nimtilie kahawa. So these things, the small things we do, makes a difference indeed. Otherwise, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But Mr. Machausa, please, let's bring the two gentlemen back again. Thank you.
Thank you, Collins. I think for those of us who are not married yet, are picking pretty useful skills from those who have. Anyways, more questions and comments. The floor is open to everyone. In the meantime, I think we'll allow Mama Anisa say a few words, and I know Dr. Mjahid he's back. So if there's anything that she wants to add on, maybe we can also get to hear from her as she prepares. Amani, the floor is yours, please.
Amani Kibera is brother.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, Mama Anisa, please.
Hello. Yes, I
Hello.
just want to add something very little. What I want to add is a dialogue. We rarely talk. Sometimes people are in the same bed, but they're so much separated. They're far away together. So when Professor Daktari comes back again, may he also talk about dialogue, talking, because in our communities, we don't talk about our issues. We just quiet, and especially the women sometimes, and even the men, they decide even to mute forever, and it's only actions or maybe writing some little notes. So what about that? Does that one also one way of making it worse? And number two, I wanted to tell the boy child in the house that you have to understand the girl child. Yeah, because the girl child ameumbwa, yeye ana vitu anataka. Mnasema material, but not actually so material. Sisi tunataka attention. So you have to learn hiyo nature ya girl child iko vipi. Na nyinyi mnapenda sana nini? Mnapenda kuheshimiwa. So whatever is done, only tukikuangukia tukikuheshimu, then is the end of the day. So first we have to understand hizi gender zetu. Alafu pia it's good also to understand our backgrounds. Whoever your baby is, whoever your spouse is, what is the background ambayo itakufanya the 5 P's wewe unaweza kuzifanya vizuri. There are certain things you really need to understand about your spouse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama Anisa. Yes, Dr. Mujahid.
Daktari, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself.
If you don't open your heart to your partner, then be sure that the doctor will open it for you. So you must learn to open your heart so that we can be able. Unajua, we are made up of 3 Qs: the IQ for the brain, the EQ for the heart, and the PQ for the body. But the IQ and the PQ are always controlled by the EQ. Moyo ndio una nguvu zaidi. Unajua, Mwenyezi Mungu ameumba watu na senta 3 za kufikiria. So you must always, in creating bond, practice the 3 centers of thinking. Of thinking. Now, the first center of thinking is the brain. It is protected by the 2 ears. Be careful of what you hear, because you might hear things that will spoil and ruin your good relationship with your spouse or your friend. So make sure, it's very important, you listen to what the other person is saying. Listen, use the 2 ears. They will control what goes on in the brain. Then we have the heart, which is protected by the 2 ribs. You need to speak the language that you don't need to use the word, and this is the language of physical connection. You see, there is a lot of magic when spouses, when husband and wife, when friends hug, because that's the only language that the heart can hear. And then the last center is the center that is between the legs. You need to learn how to use that one very well. If you cannot, in a relationship where the center between the legs is not properly used, that relationship, that bond can never be created, because that is what brings the epitome of any relationship, of any bonding. Remember, let me make it easy. We write bond B-O-N-D, B-O-N-D, bond. We must believe in each other if we want to bond. We must be always open with one another if we want to bond. We must maintain neutrality if we want to bond. And we must always follow the same direction so that we end up in the right destination if we want to bond. It's as simple as that.
Wow. This is so amazingly, and sometimes you get dumbfounded when you hear such good things. Thank you so much, Dr. Mujahid. I think Brother Amani Kibera is still having his hand raised. In the meantime, as he prepares maybe to come on, I will read a comment from Mahmoud Ali. He says, I believe we are all born with different personalities, whether introvert or extrovert. To an extent, you find someone believe in his friend's ideas rather than his or hers. A situation where I'm in a relationship and I'm either the two personality, and shit happened between I and my lonely bird. Is it okay if I consider my friends for ideas? I think what Mahmoud Ali is asking is probably, is it okay to follow people's advice and ideas when things go wrong in a relationship? And so is it going to be Dr. Mjahid again or Mama Anisa on this one?
I'll let Mama Anisa take up that one, inshallah. And then
Okay.
I can contribute.
All right.
I didn't hear the question, sorry.
Okay, let me reread what he wrote. I believe we are all born with different personalities, whether introvert or extrovert. To an extent, you find someone believe in his friend's ideas rather than his or hers. A situation where I'm in a relationship and I'm either of the two personalities, and something happens between I and my lonely bird. Is it okay if I consider my friend's ideas?
I don't think it's good to consider your friend's idea. Why? One, because you are unique with your partner. It's about you and your partner. So your friend does not come in there. So the ideas, they're supposed to enrich that relationship, not to destroy it. So if that idea is an idea which is going to benefit, then I think it's okay. But if that idea is not going to benefit, then it's a spoiler. You need to be you, your uniquenesses. You have to come together and find your uniquenesses. The people you can go to, not your friends only, but we have married counselors, we have relationship counselors, we have religious people, we have the big brother, yeah, whom you can actually go to. But when you think that this, whatever they're saying is not good, then I don't think you should go for it. Maybe Dr. can put more flesh on it.
What is important is also to listen to yourself and to listen to your heart, because sometimes solutions are found within ourselves. When you focus so much on what other people say or what other people do, it becomes really disastrous sometimes. And I want here for us to learn 5 C's that are very important when it comes to creating bond and having good relationship. The C number 1 is don't compare. Don't compare your relationship with any other person's relationship. Don't compare yourself with your friend. The two of you are different people. You have your own uniqueness. You have your own specialties. You have your own interests. So avoid the P of comparing. P number 2, avoid the P of compromising. Don't compromise, because you won't be able to compromise every day. So be yourself and always insist on being an original version of your own self. Remember, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can never defeat you. So it's about you and your relationship, is about you and your partner, and therefore learn how best it can work for the two of you. Don't bring on board a third party unless where there is really a necessity. C number 3 is a C of collaboration, working together, so that you can be able to settle your problems, your differences between the two of you, because kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa na mtu mmoja hazai. So there has to be the two of you. And then C number 4 is a C of criticizing. That means refusing to listen to the other party, thinking that you have all the answers with yourself. It's always good to give the other person also an opportunity, and that's why listening is very key. And then C number 5 is the condemning. That means disqualifying anything that is said by the other person. So what is important here is that you must always listen to your hearts. Listen to your heart. Remember, there's something that goes like this. Be careful of what you think. As Dr. Mukhtar mentioned, we become what we think every day. We are who we are because of the little things that we allow to settle in our minds, because what settles in my mind finds its place in the heart, and what goes inside the heart will affect the way you will act, and your actions will make your habits, those small habits Dr. Mokhtar was talking about. And it is those little habits that will develop your character, whether it will be a good character or a bad character, and it is that character that will take you to your destiny. So you have to control what goes on in your mind.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mjahid. I think if we had the whole day, would have done it. But for us, it's 1 hour, and we are almost towards the end. We are closing in that 1 hour. I will read a few comments from the word chat as we wind up. Biasha says, every day is a learning day. For those who consider it, nimepata tips, alhamdulillah. Nancy comes back again and says, this is the most educative session I've ever had. Just the right dosage for my disease. This has come just at the right time. I was so confused on what right thing I should do to make a relationship work. This really created fear in me after a few failed, but right now I feel rejuvenated and ready to date. Not even just dating, I feel like I'm ready for marriage even. Wow. That is very bold. Thank you, Dr. Mjahid and Mama Anisa. Biasha said, comes back and says, wow, nice, Nancy, don't heal alone and try to help others who are in need. Eunice, wow, the sessions is very educative. Thank you all. Mahmoud Ali has questions. What causes loss of interest in your partner compared to the very first times? And Lovebot is moving ahead. Is it good to let your parents control your love life? Wow. This is a good one. I think it should be the last question that I let you answer before we call it. Dr. Mjahid, I think you have this
Nuri
one.
Brother Ben Ooko has been holding his hand for very long. Maybe we give him an opportunity and then they answer together.
Thanks. Sorry for holding up my hand for so long. Daktari, nice to meet you again. You really inspired me when you were training me on some mentorship in Kibera 3-4 years ago, and your work has always inspired what I do.
Thank you very much.
I will tell you that I didn't know I was meeting you today, but yesterday I was actually reading your notes again because I had an emergency that was referred to me by Wachausa, and they were really very, very helpful. So today, the little good thing that I did for my wife was to invite her to come and listen to you together. And we are smiling throughout the session. So thank you really for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Mjahid, I think we'll go back to the question by Mahmoud. I don't know if you still got it or should reread it.
Yeah. You see, look at the word love. We write the word love, Love. And therefore, sometimes we lose interest on each other or from each other or with each other. When we stop learning. You know, a relationship is a continual process of learning. You need to learn when to say yes, you need to learn when to say no, you need to learn when to give a gift, you need to learn when to keep away, you need to learn when to run, you need to learn when to stop, you need to learn when you're supposed to give, and you need to learn when you're supposed to take, you need to learn when you're supposed to kiss, and you need to learn when you're supposed to hug, you need to learn when you're supposed to have intimacy, and you need to learn when you're supposed to keep a distance. So learning is a very paramount element when it comes to maintaining interest between two people. Okay? Or it's always very good to help each other. You know, there could be a common objective between the two of you. But apart from that common objective, there's also individual objectives. And therefore, if you want to make the interest continue, then you must be helping each other achieve your respective specific objective so that you remain relevant in that relationship with each other. Again, interest is lost when you kind of contradict the values of the relationship. So the moment you discover that the values that are used to build a good relationship are kind of being compromised, you have to get back to them. Values of truthfulness, value of honesty, value of trust, value of transparency, value of happiness, value of freedom. Now these values are key when it comes to the interest. And then you need to keep on talking about your relationship to build up nice memories and bringing up those old memories when now they are like kind of fading, so that you bring them back to life. It's like repainting the picture of the first time you met. Okay, so that freshness remains in that particular relationship. Na mahaba ni kama mti, huwa lazima utie maji kila siku. Ukiacha kuyatilia maji mahaba, ukiacha kuitilia mbolea mahaba, basi mti wa mahaba huwa unakauka kwa upesi sana.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mjahid. Sorry, Amani Nouri, I have to take it from here. We have done an hour, save 2 minutes, and I will use the 2 minutes to say bye. Dr. Mjahid, are you available next week, Tuesday, inshallah, to do the dialogue?
I'll try. Inshallah, I'll try my best, inshallah.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have the topic already for next Tuesday, and we'll be asking ourselves what is dialogue and how do we best dialogue. Thank you very much. What can I say? What more can I say other than really thanking you, Dr. Mjahid and Mama Anisa, as always. Mama Anisa has been a very important guest over and over again. I know that Tari, we will also be getting you as much as God is going to allow us. And Brother Mukhtar and everybody else who's been here. Really, it cannot be a session if you are not present. So thank you very much for taking your time and tuning in, and kindly make use of the information that you are getting, the education, the tips. Please make them a tool to make world a better place. Thank you very much. Love you all. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.